What's up, Rockstars? Today is an extra special day because I'm giving you a bonus video. This will be my third video for a week, so congrats on that. But I wanted to tell you guys about Massive Darkness 2 and my final thoughts on it until I get the game, and then I'll let you know my final thoughts on it. So, without further ado, let's get started on the video. As always, I'd like to start out with a huge thank you to my YouTube members and patrons. Without their support, the amount of videos I do and the quality I do them in would not be possible. In large part thanks to them, everything you see about this video, from the back end to the front end, is because of them, so thank you for that. Additionally, thank you for all of you guys down in the comments, either commenting or liking, subscribing, sharing, following the merch link, Amazon link, all that stuff. It's a huge help, and I greatly appreciate it. Additionally, I just wanted to say, I've had a crazy day. So my daughter, we celebrated her 11th birthday today, and we threw quite the NASA space-themed party thing, and I'm exhausted. We had 15 kids here. We had a piñata. It was insane. I'm tired, but I'm excited to do this video for you. So I'm going to do this, maybe paint a little bit, and then pass out. That's probably in the order I'm going to do this in, but we'll see. We'll see. I might just pass out. But not in the, if I pass out in the video, you guys let me know. But I'd probably see it when I edited it. Anyway, let's talk about Massive Darkness 2. So, as you know, leading up to Massive Darkness 2, I was pumped. It looked to me like they were going to fit. I really actually still liked Massive Darkness 1. It had its problems. It was the first video, or the first video for a board game. I'm saying that all wrong. It's the first review for a board game I ever did on YouTube. It was for Massive Darkness 1. It was one of the first Kickstarter games I ever kickstarted, actually. It was the first board game I ever kickstarted, so it was definitely a first of many for me. And I really enjoyed the game. It wasn't perfect by any means, and I said so in my... Even back when I sucked at reviews, way back then, I think I still did a good enough job explaining that it's good, but it's also bad. Poorly balanced, very swingy, you could game it, you could do all sorts of stuff like that, but it was still good fun, and... As somebody who didn't have a wall of board games yet, there's more in the closet and more on the way. You know, you always have those 15 Kickstarters coming kind of thing. It got a lot of playtime to the point where I played it all. I really had some great time with it. And I always thought if they could just fix the combat a little bit to be a little bit swifter, if they could fix a few little things about it, then I'd love it. And then lo and behold, Massive Darkness 2 finally comes out, and they're like, hey, we're fixing things. We're making the campaign actually playable and not trash. And we're making combat to where the enemies roll with you so that, it just goes a little bit quicker, and you're not having to check your character sheet to see any buffs that you might have. And there was a lot of different things that I was looking forward to. So I was really pumped about it. So I was like, hey, yeah, Massive Darkness 2, let's go. And then it launched, and I saw the core box heroes. And very lackluster about that. You get an insect shaman person. I don't know. It was kind of odd. You get this dude with these huge tusks coming up on his chest, which looked kind of silly. And I don't know. It was just, I wasn't digging it too much. And then the stretch goals started hitting, and it just wasn't what I was expecting at all. The tonal shift gave me whiplash. I think honestly, I almost went to a doctor. And then they would have been like, what's the matter? Come on, made Massive Darkness 2, and it's way different. It feels different. I don't like it. It's different. And that was pretty much how I felt. It's still, there's a lot different there. It's definitely a tonal shift. Just in the seriousness of it, right? Massive Darkness 2 has a little bit of goofiness to it, I guess you could say. But... It's a long campaign, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. By the way, by the time I'm posting this, there's a little bit more than 48 hours. So this is a little bit earlier than your 2-day warning. That being said, there will be a link down below so you guys can check it out and see kind of the changes I'm talking about or I'm showing about here. But, I mean, looking at this, and let me actually get my other mouse. I know you guys hate that scroll wheel. Okay. They've unlocked a ton, right? I'm going to skip over this for now. Yeah, there's Mr. Horny Guy. There's that guy there. There's the shaman. I wasn't digging the core. I don't, this is the only one I like. I like Rogue here. And even then, I don't like their mask. I don't like the Zorro kind of look there. But yeah, these kind of gargoyles, it just, I don't know. It threw me for a loop. But it's a long campaign. A lot has happened. As you can see, a ton has happened. Oh my gosh, if you have a couple $100 that you don't want, come on, we'll take it for you. They will do you that solid. They will do what's right for you when it comes to lightening that purse. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, there are worse things to spend it on, like illegal drugs, probably. Hiring a hitman probably wouldn't be good either. But buying Massive Darkness 2, well, that's a better decision now, isn't it? Anyway, so a lot has happened, and I like a lot of it. I think part of it is just going through the motions of getting used to it. Like I said, it's a huge whiplash thing. I think if they could do anything, I'll talk about this later, if they could do anything, it would have been to prep people for the kind of shift in tone. So you could expect a little bit more goofy, a little bit more zany, a little bit more silliness in the game. So you can have a holy goose and be fine with it. But they didn't really do that, and so people were just expecting more Massive Darkness 2, and that's not what they got. Or more Massive Darkness. That's not necessarily what we got. So I think they could have prepared us more, but I've gotten a little bit more used to it. I know my initial reaction is, oh gosh, are those unicorns they'd be easy to paint. Just paint it blue and add some sparkle to it, right? So again, they've done a whole bunch, and they started out right off the bat with a person with a bird in their head, and like this anime looking dude here, and then even bigger birds, and like floating mystic monks, I guess. I don't know. And then bugs. So anyway, it threw me for a loop. Now, here's what I really like. First of all, I do like the separate class asymmetric game mechanics. I really do. It means that I get to play, at least, to where I play each one, and then kind of determine which one I like the most and roll with that, probably. I really like, for the wheelchair miniature, I guarantee that's what my daughter will play. She loves, like, she has all these Barbies in wheelchairs and stuff like that. She became good friends with a girl that was in a wheelchair in 3rd grade, I think. Because they needed somebody to, push her and help her around, and she always volunteered, and they ended up... Anyway, so she really likes that, so that's cool. That being said, I might still the Tinkerer class, because I love a pet class. If you have a pet class in your game, and it has cool miniatures, I want it. I love pet classes. I do in video games, I do in board games. I think it's awesome. So anything that I can summon turrets or a tank guy or whatever, I'm all about it. And that's what the Tinkerer is. And then we've got minis for it. So I'm pumped about that. By the time we got to the Rainbow Crossing boss is actually when I think I flipped back. Mainly because I know my kids would get a huge kick out of going there. And once they actually showed it in a separate box, I think that's actually what flipped it for me. Because I thought of kind of like the Secret Cow level of a Diablo thing, right? It's kind of this... in a separate box, but every now and then you can take your hardened warriors and go fight fluffy unicorns that are angry at you. And I'm okay with that. I think that's actually kind of nice. I look forward to playing without them and just kind of playing through it and doing all that. And then like, okay, well now we need to change things up. Magical unicorns and giant angry pink bear. And I think that'll actually be pretty cool. And I love painting in bright colors. So looking forward to that. The woodland I was kind of on, but they've been knocking out of the park, especially later on. So I'm going to go down to these other... They separate... I wish they didn't separate these maybe so much. Oh, they released a video of the nymph minion being painted by Big Child Creatives, and it made me appreciate the miniatures so much more. It is amazing how much painting miniatures increases your like for them. It really does. In a great way. And so, in fact, let me go ahead and quickly swap to it if I can. Look at that. I mean, like, it looks great. That actually looks pretty cool. I would like to paint that. I like the color differences on there. I think it turned out great, and again, it just gives such a better appreciation, I think, for miniatures in general. That looks fun to paint. It really does. I like it. I like it a lot. So, yeah, he hadn't even done details then. So, anyway, I think that looks cool. So I'm all about that. This looks like Zoe from Massive Darkness 1, does it not? Just like a bad butt version of her. That's how I'm going to roll with it. Maybe it's like her mom or something. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess you could say, oh, and they started adding more bosses. I was upset about how many bosses they added, or they didn't have, but they added one pretty more here. But since this guy, I think that really, okay, so since maybe the Griffin, I think every single one I've liked. I actually dig the Griffin. I'm cool with that. I think he looks pretty cool. He'll be cool painted. Obviously, Charon looks freaking sweet. I dig the people gripping him and how his boat is essentially floating above. I think that's awesome. The Harriet is probably the necromancer I would roll with. I love the heads. Like, this is more Massive Darkness 1 than I was expecting. This is exactly my style that I prefer. So I love that. Then they had like the Valkyrie here, which I think is great. I love the Valkyrie kind of on a winged Pegasus kind of coming in. And it's a great idea, and it's a very dynamic miniature. It'll take up a ton of room between the wings and the spear and all that, but it's freaking sweet. Then they added the Tinkerer Constance I was talking about, where you can get a mech suit and kind of go and pulverize people, or you can summon turrets, or you can summon 2 different kinds of pets, and that's awesome. Lynn looks like a fantastic ranger. I think she looks super cool. That's actually, I think she's the last update, so let's go ahead and take a look at her. Seriously, I'm actually, like, this is what I like this. Because it's unique in the sense that she's got like this book, and she's got like the scroll work, which is kind of unique and not something you'd always think of. She's got like twin crossbows with like little kind of brass knuckles attached to it, plus a sword, very ranger-like. A cool cloak. It'll be red with maybe even some like bright, almost orange highlights. It's gonna be sweet. I like the hood. It just looks like a cool miniature. This is something I could roll with. I really like her. I think that Lynn looks pretty darn cool. So I guess that's where I'm at. So one thing, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here. I have not read all 52 updates, but I've glanced at all 52 updates. I didn't read every single word. Have they yet to explain... Hold on. Where is it? Oh my gosh. How far do I have to go? Okay. Wait. Nope. Here. Have they explained Heavenfall at all? Do we know how to play this campaign? What did they do? So, they made a big deal in the hyping about how we've fixed the campaign, and then nothing. The only thing I know about the campaign is this blurb right here. This is what I know about the campaign. I can see a tavern and an inventor and a gambling alley and a blacksmith and a herbalist. Are we going back to town after each mission? Do we do things? I know we level up more, but that's it. The rulebook doesn't mention it. I don't know how to play the campaign. Now, right now, as you can see, I have pledged for the campaign expansion mode, and that's simply because as a reviewer on YouTube and me trashing the campaign in the first one, I feel kind of obliged to let you guys know if it's any better, because it probably will be in retail, and then you guys will know, yeah, they fixed it, or no, they didn't. But they have this whole campaign, they didn't tell us anything. My assumption is that they don't freaking know. I feel like if you knew what you're going to do, you would release it. They released the rulebook for the other one. They didn't release the rulebook for this. They made it playable in Tabletop Simulator. They didn't make this playable in Tabletop Simulator. And they have yet to mention it in 52 updates in like 4 weeks. So I'm assuming they just have a general idea of maybe fixing it and then threw in some things and asked for $45 is what I'm assuming. I would drop it and just grab it retail. That way I don't have to pay for shipping, because it'll be cheaper if I wait for retail. There's no reason for me to buy this here. In fact, I don't think we get anything extra. However, because it's just a pledge and it's easy to do, I'll just do it with ease so that it's there, and so that I have instant access to the campaign book, so I can get started on letting you guys know as soon as possible if this is any good at all. Heck if I know. Because I don't. This is also huge. The upgrade pack, where I get almost all of the stuff. What you don't get is the bosses. That came in a stretch goal, though. Or they added the 2 Cyclops and the Elephant. I don't have the Elephant. I do have the Cyclopses, so there is that, I guess. But anyway, I'm backing it. I'm keeping my pledge. I'm actually excited for it. As long as it does help. I decided this. In fact, I planned this video to tell you guys that I've kind of swapped back to liking it. I did that before. I did that yesterday. When I saw it was a couple when they first announced the Tinker class, and I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna keep it. When they showed the miniatures for the pets and the exo armor, I was excited. That's really what kind of flipped it for me. I'd been softening up with the box of the Rainbow Bright stuff, the Massive Little Pony box, and so anyway, I just got done with the game of Zombicide, and come on, doesn't make the most perfect games, but gosh darn are they fun. We had a lot of fun chucking dice and moving people around, and we actually lost, which is great. It's amazing to me how often you don't lose board games. Most of them, while they're strategic, you can win with 90% accuracy. So anytime you get something, maybe like Deep Madness, it's a little bit harder, or even Zombicide, where you can lose. You can try and lose at the very end. We got greedy. We looted again. It was a mold spawn. That was the death of it, because then we didn't have enough extra activation. That's how it goes. Anyway, that's not Massive Darkness. My point is that I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I would highly suggest that if you were against it, to look at some of the recent stretch goals and what we've unlocked. Look at kind of how many bosses you're getting now and all that kind of stuff. Because they've kind of dropped the whole big hands thing, and they've gone back to, I think, some really quality, exciting looking miniatures that just look like a lot of fun. This Mist Rogue guy, he's pretty sweet. I actually like him as well. This boss, I liked how big he was. It actually ended up being kind of cool, I guess. I'm not so much sold on it's but anyway, I think it's looking kind of neat, looking kind of cool, and looking forward to that Tinker class a lot, I think. So definitely the first one I'll be playing. I'll be playing a Tinker. Guaranteed. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you think. I would love to hear. Are you back in it? Did you ever leave? Was I off base? I think while I have the YouTube channel and you hear me, I was not the only one, I think, feeling that way. Anyway, I would love to hear what you thought, because this was definitely an interesting play by them, especially going straight in with kind of the oddballs, and then kind of ending on maybe a little bit more traditional ones. Though I suppose the giant wrenched wheelchair machine of death, looks like it's got blades on there, is probably a little bit out there, but I know my daughter will love that, so I definitely got to get that, because she'll definitely appreciate that. Anyway, I would love to hear what you have to say. I would love to chat with you about it, so it's the weekend, I'll be talking with you guys tomorrow. My tomorrow, you guys will see this in. That's all for now. Again, bonus episode. Next episode will be some Senkokushin, and then I have the big September Kickstarter update, and it's huge. Like, it has a scroll wheel, and I've not had that before. When it comes to, like, me just listing a whole bunch of links, and I'll open all those links, and we'll talk through it all. It's going to be big, though. There's a ton of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff coming up. Definitely interesting. In fact, there's a late entry in August that I have not spoken about, that I know about, that I pretty much even know the day of. I'll be releasing my September video just like a day before that, so a big announcement there. I'm really excited about it, so I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about it. I'm glad I finally got a date pinpointed on that sucker, so there's some good stuff coming up. So if you haven't subscribed, over half the people that watch this video are not subscribed. Consider subscribing. It helps the channel out, and it'll help you see these kind of deals, these kind of updates, these kind of coverage that maybe is helpful for you. If nothing else is helpful for me, because then I know that what I'm doing helps people enough to where they want to continue to get stuff. And I think that's a good motivator for me to do an extra video like this. So hope you appreciated it. I'll talk to you guys in a few days.